Throughout the NFL draft, there were a plethora of teams that went out there and just got after it. And honestly, they came away a lot better. And, obviously the whole offseason is factored into this, but no, we're just talking about the top 5 winners of the 2022 NFL draft in terms of both, obviously getting the players you need now, but also planning for the future. I think, and that's something I think that is definitely, I've noticed, is becoming really apparent and important in the draft, is planning for the future. And I think a lot of NFL teams did it very well, and it all starts with the New York Jets. You talk about getting the best corner in the draft, or arguably the best corner, and a guy like Ahmad Sauce Gardner at 4. Then you get Garrett Wilson there at 10. Get Wilson to Wilson connection for a long time. I'm excited. I think that just as with these first 2 picks, not even getting, we'll get to Jermaine Johnson the second in just a second, no pun intended. But just overall, the Jets really found a way to get the most out of their draft picks this year. And like we said, it started with Sauce. It kind of continued with Garrett Wilson there, getting another number 1 wide receiver. And then finally, you get to Jermaine Johnson the second. I mean, just massive value at 26. I did not think he was going to be there, but you talk about a guy that was honestly a top 15 pick at one point, falls to you at 26. You love it. And then also obviously getting Breece Hall there in the second round. Jeremy Ruckert, one of the best overall tight ends, just top to bottom this draft. The Jets killed it. Yeah, I think they did as obviously they had one of the strongest off seasons, but they clearly were the number 1 winner in the draft this year for me. And I really think that they got a lot better as a team. The Jets, they're going to look pretty tough throughout the next couple of years. So the Jets, they're going to be pretty tough. Winner number 2 for us for the 2022 NFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens. Are you kidding me? Every single year, it just seems like the Baltimore Ravens find a way to they come away with some of the best players, and they don't even really have to do anything. They just seem to fall to them. But at the end of the day, I was really happy for the Ravens. They went out there and got a lot of good players. So you talk about getting Kyle Hamilton, arguably the best player in this draft. I mean, I don't care about his 40 time. I don't care. He was a consensus, a top 5 pick, an All-American at Notre Dame. You talk about a guy dropping to 14. Just, it's frustrating. I mean, it's frustrating because my Vikings also had a chance at him. But you talk about, again, a guy that's going to come in right away. And I don't know necessarily what his impact is going to be right away. But you're talking about a guy that's going to be a star for a long time on the back end of that Ravens defense. And then you get Tyler Linderbaum at 25, arguably the best interior offensive lineman in this draft, between guards and centers, easily the best center in the draft. And I'm thinking, man, you shore up your offensive line, you get a hammer at safety. I love it. And then also you get David Ojabo in the second round. I mean, I know he tore his Achilles, but still, you're getting a top 15 pick, or who was a top 15 pick there in the second round. And then Travis Jones, who had an amazing Senior Bowl at defensive tackle there. It's like, wow, just top to bottom. And then Daniel Falele in the 4th round. It just doesn't stop. Jamin Armour-Davis, corner. I mean, just overall, you get guys everywhere that I'm just like, this is just not fair. This is just one of the best draft classes. The only reason I didn't rank them above the Jets was because I felt the Jets, 3 first-round draft picks, they really got after it. The Ravens had 2, but arguably they did have 3 in David Ojabo. You could probably flip-flop the Jets and the Ravens here, but overall both teams came away much better after the 2022 NFL draft. Winner number 3 for us, the Kansas City Chiefs. We talk about, you obviously had to get a replacement for Tyreek Hill. We understood. We'll get to Sky Moore in just a second. But getting George Karlaftis to fall to you that far. I mean, I understand it that, especially in the draft, there's a lot of hype that goes around. But, I felt like I really didn't understand the idea of the Jags picking a guy like Trayvon Walker with the number 1 overall pick. They're banking more on potential rather than college production. So, I mean, I hope it works out for him. But at the end of the day, I was a little confused, to say the least. But you also get a guy like Trent McDuffie out here. I mean, again, I thought Trent McDuffie was a top 15 pick. I wanted him to go to the Vikings at 12, but it is what it is. And then George Karlaftis at 30. Again, a top 10 guy that falls to at 30, tremendous value. They got immediately better. You talk about they needed corner, and they're also planning for the future with a guy like Karlaftis too, excuse me. Then you get Sky Moore in the second round, a replacement. I mean, I don't even want to say replacement because, I mean, Tyreek Hill was just amazing, but, I mean, that's probably what it could end up being. I mean, he's a guy that's very speedy, good route runner, also finds a way to win those contested catch balls. That he's not even the biggest guy, 5'10", $195, 200 pounds, but he just finds a way to win when going up to get the football, and he's just, I love it. Then you get Brian Cook, safety in the second round still. I'm not necessarily sure if he's going to play right away, but I do think that he is going to be the starter in the future and be an absolute, I think he's going to be a stud. I think we're talking about a guy like Tyrann Mathieu-esque type of a player, but he's going to learn for a little bit, guys, behind guys like Justin Reed, also Juan Thornhill, and I'm excited for it. I think that he's going to be a fantastic player for the Chiefs down the line. So, and then Leo Chenal there in the third. I mean, Leo Chenal was easily, to me, at least a top 45 pick. You get him in the third round at 103, just unfair. Winner number 4, Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, I realized the fact, they only had like 5 or 6 picks, but the Eagles were a team that coming in, I was like, okay, you had a couple of first round picks. Well, at one point, they have like 3? Then they got another one for next year. But honestly, they didn't have very many picks this year, but they had all of them. All of them were impactful. We talk about trading up for a guy like Jordan Davis, who, in my mind, yes, he's going to be the replacement or a near replacement for Fletcher Cox in the future. Just trading up for him, I didn't have a problem with that at all. In the second round, you get a replacement for a guy like Jason Kelce and Cam Jurgens. Loved it. Didn't have any problem with that. Then also Nakobe Dean, arguably the best linebacker in this draft that fell because I know of a pec injury, but as soon as he's healthy, this is a steal, no matter which way you look at it. A top, 25 pick, fell to you in the third round. Just unfair. So yeah, the Eagles, they came away much better, and I think that they're going to be continuing to be one of those teams that just does surprise a lot of people, and I'm very excited about it. So I do think at the end of the day, though, the Eagles, they're in a tough division. It's going to be, is this the kind of a draft that puts them over the top? I absolutely think it is, and I'm really excited to see how it all does pan out for the Eagles. Now, winner number 5, I think might come as a little bit of a shock. They didn't have 2 first-round draft picks, but, they got a lot of great players at a lot of great positions of need. You talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, they didn't have a first or second-round pick, but you get Dylan Parham in the third round there, Neo Farrell Jr., also Matthew Butler, Zamir White, running back. Like, top to bottom, when we're talking about filling needs and looking out for the future in terms of Josh Jacobs' contract gets over in a year, you talk about just top to bottom filling all those needs. I felt the Raiders had one of the strongest drafts without having a first or second round draft pick. We talk again, you get a replacement or at least a guy that's going to come in and start right away at center in a guy like Dylan Parham. Neil Farrell Jr. and Matthew Butler need to be on the field immediately. It doesn't matter to me. Zamir White, I'm really excited for a guy like Zamir White. I feel like, honestly, I know he's had a couple of ACL surgeries, but I don't care. Put this man on the field. Let him learn behind Josh Jacobs for a year. I know that the Raiders have some running backs, but I don't care. I think he's going to be the future starting running back, and I think this was a huge win for the Raiders. They did a lot of great things. And again, you don't have to have a first or second round draft pick to be able to have good picks, and I think this kind of draft by the Raiders really reiterated that point. But that's it. Those are our top 5 winners of the 2022 NFL Draft. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome, and we love every single one of you. In the description down below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. Give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about our top 5 winners of the 2022 NFL Draft.